So for the button center, what I did is I made my own buttons. If you've got a button mold, that's great. I didn't, but I have buttons. So you guys have seen this a million times. I just got some good buttons that I really like. This one's kind of clear, so it's got that like dip in the center, which I really like, and then this one's got that rounded edge, which it really liked. And you've seen me do these a million times. I'll show you again. Okay, it's just some putty, some silicone putty. Now, if you've got any brand, you know, that's food grade, you know, use it. This is food safe. I get it at my craft store. You can also get it from Dominique at Make Your Own Molds, because he has some silicone putty too. Okay, equal parts. Okay, or approximately equal parts. And you mix them together. And you've got, like, I don't know, it's not a large working time. It's about 5-minute working time, and then it cures in like 20. Well, I don't know if it cures, but it sets up in 20 minutes. So it's usable. So you just put that together, knead it well, get all the creases out. Okay. And then you're going to take your buttons and you're going to put them in. So face down. And then the other one, and make sure that you got them nice and popped in there. And then I flip them over because I want this edge flat, because it's easier when you put your fondant in to clear it off, and the back is nice and flat. So it's nice because if you screw up anything, you can add to it. Seem to be having an issue here. Okay, there we go. All right, and so I'll just let this cure, and in a few minutes it'll be ready to go. Except I already did it. Okay. So what I've got here is some buttons, and I can take some yellow to make some yellow centers, or some white to make some white centers. We'll start with the yellow because I think it'll be easier to see. So you just take it and pop it in. Whoops. Okay, just plop it in there and then remove any excess, which is why I like having this nice and flat. All right, and then I pop this in the freezer. And then I have one already in here. Now this is a different button. This is the button that's in this flower, as you can see. And it was a button that actually had jewels. It had one, you know, a pearly center, and that had little sparkly jewels on the side. You go to your fabric store, you'll find all those pretty buttons. And then you just make the mold the same way I just showed you. And then just pop it out. Can you see that? I made it the same way. And this was, unfortunately, I don't own this button. This button was given me to actually put in flowers, in gum paste flowers for a bride, so I didn't get to keep the button, but I made a mold before I put them in because I really liked it. So it doesn't hurt the button any, and there it is. Now what you're going to do with this is you're just going to paint it. So you want to paint it, I painted the center pearl, I painted gold around the edges, and then a little purple, which I'll do a little later on. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit. And when I do all my painting, I'll paint that. Okay, pretty. We'll put that off to the side. Okay, one more flower I wanted to show you was this Ruffle Flower. It's really cute. Also out of yellow. I didn't actually use it on my cake, but I really liked the way it looked, so I'm going to show it to you. This center, by the way, is also a button, as with this center. So they're just buttons. Okay, so for this, I'll make a small version of this. And it's basically just a giant round ruffle. So it's a little bit harder than the others. You want a long ruffle, and it doesn't matter how wide or how long you make it. That will just, you know, it'll vary by flower, how big you want your flower to be. So the bigger you want your flower, the longer you want to make your ruffle, and the wider you want to make it. So you can adjust that. But I will tell you what I am using. So again, down to the number 2. Fighting with my pasta machine. All right. These don't stick. I'm having a heck of a time with sticking today. It's all right, we're not using that little bit. Okay, it's going to be about 2 inches wide, and remember we fold it in half, so the finished one will be 1 inch wide. It's okay if it's not perfect. You're going to flip it over to the back, and we're going to put it together. So seal it with a little water. Sometimes you'll see me use water and sometimes you won't, just depends on how sticky my paste is. All right, it's all right if you got a little bit of fold there or not. You want to really make sure that's sealed together. So you can use the rolling pin to help seal that. And we want to thin this edge, the folded edge, but don't damage it. So again, I'm going to take my hands and kind of stretch it, but don't damage that folded edge. Okay? All right, now what we're going to do is we're just going to pleat it. So you're just going to take, I'm going to take like accordion style and make pleats. So however you find it's easiest for you to do that. I just use my side of my thumb and I push this together to get accordion style pleats. If you can do it in your hand, I have to do it on the table, but if you can do it in your hand, that's fine.